So today we are going to look at these 5 mindsets that you have to be aware of as a child of God that leads to poverty. Again, poverty is not about how much money that you have in your bank, and wealth as well. It's not about how much possessions of things that you have. It is about the mindset that you have. And as a child of God, you want to be aware of the mindset that you have so that you can shift to a mindset of abundance. So good morning once again. Welcome back to this channel. Welcome back. My name is Jessica and you are most welcome. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you are old, you are welcome back once again. And if you're an old subscriber, please show a sign of a thumbs up just to appreciate the channel and to show your presence that you are here. Okay, so today we are going to look at these 5 mindsets that you have to be aware of as a child of God that leads to poverty. Again, poverty is not about how much money that you have in your bank, and wealth as well. It's not about how much possessions of things that you have. It is about the mindset that you have. And today we're going to look at these 5 mindsets, and as a child of God, you would want to be aware of the mindsets. You want to be aware of the mindset that you have so that you can shift to a mindset of abundance. Now, mindset number 1 is when you find yourself shifting blame too much to external forces. You would want to find out, when do you actually take responsibility for things that happens in your life? Now, as human beings, mostly we go through earthly experiences. We go through pain. We go through disappointments. We go through betrayal. We go through so many things. And there are things in life that are caused by other people in our lives. But also there are certain things that we play a role in those events or in those circumstances. But if you find yourself most of the time not pointing a finger at yourself, but you point a finger at other people, at external forces, at the government, at maybe your friends or spouse or family members or in-laws and things like these, then you have to sit down and ask yourself, when do I take responsibility? Because unless you become self-aware that you are not taking responsibility for yourself, your life will continue on the basis of shifting blame to other people until you find yourself at the age where you no longer can do anything or cannot change the circumstances of your life, because your whole entire life you have been blaming other people and other external forces for the events in your life. So what you're gonna do is to forgive yourself, forgive people that have caused harm to you, and then you take responsibility for your life starting today. So when you start taking a new responsibility, that is how you change your mindset to a mindset of abundance. So a second mindset that leads to a spirit of poverty is procrastination. Now we all know that procrastination is when you put things off and promise yourself that you do something tomorrow and then again tomorrow. And procrastination, we all know that it comes from a place of low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is when you don't believe in your own abilities concerning a particular thing. Now, we all have deep-seated desires, right? We all have things that we want to do, we want to accomplish, but because of the blockage of the self-esteem, we don't execute these things that we want. We don't bring them to accomplishment because deep down, we also don't believe that we deserve these things that we want. For example, when Peter asked Jesus to walk on water, he really wanted to experience walking on water. So Jesus said, "Come." And Jesus and Peter started walking towards Jesus. But and then why did Peter doubt? If he really wanted to walk on water, why did he doubt? So this is an example of deep-seated low self-esteem. We want to do something, but there's a blockage of self-esteem. So when you want to change a mindset from procrastination to start doing and executing things, we have to go back to our self-concept. We have to now look at our self-concept in relation to that what we want to accomplish. If you want to get married, but deep down. You are doubting yourself that, am I going to be a good wife? You want to go and study. You are doubting yourself that, am I going to pass? Or you want to do something, start a business, but you don't see anybody in your family that has ever owned a successful business. So your self-concept towards that, what you want to accomplish, is also blocked by self-esteem. So how do we change a mindset of procrastination now to a mindset where you are executing things? This has to do with your self-concept towards that what you want to accomplish. What is your self-concept towards that thing that you want to fulfill, that you want to accomplish, or that you want to achieve in your life? So start believing in yourself. Start believing in the word of God. The Bible says that I can do everything through Christ who strengthens me. You can do everything through Christ who give you the strength. And this is the only way you can start changing your mindset, changing your concept towards that thing that you want to accomplish. So mindset number 3 is the fear of risks, the fear of taking risks. Now this comes from our conditioning, our societal conditioning where we grow up. So growing up, we used to watch these geographical channels. I think they were also part of the NBC TV at the time. There will be these geographical channels where people will go climbing the Himalayas, they will go skydiving. There will always be these activities going on that we were watching on TV at the time. And I grew up hearing our grandmothers and aunties, exchanging and talking to one another that this is why white people are dying so easily. They just take risks and they are not afraid of dying, and these things are not for us, they are for these white people who are not afraid of dying. So growing up as a child at the time, you will obviously believe that we as black people are not meant to do these things because they are risky things, they are not for us. Because you never saw anybody in your family doing that, you will definitely be a person who is afraid of taking risks. Now, taking risks in today's world is one of the ways you can accomplish a lot of things. One of the ways you can also force yourself to think outside the box. There's so many people today who believe that I will never leave Namibia, I will never leave the country because I was born here, I grew up here, I will die here. There are many people today who believe that I am from this village and what am I going to do in Swakopmund? I don't want to die in the sea. What am I going to see Swakopmund for? Even a town that is within the borders of your country, you don't want to see because you are afraid that you may die in the sea. Now, a solution to this kind of mindset is for you to start thinking outside the box. It's for you to start challenging the things that you are hearing when you're growing up. It's for you to start taking risks, for you to start doing things that you never tried before. Little things to bigger things like traveling. This will help you to open up your mind, which was conditioned by society, which was conditioned by politics and all these kind of things. Now, taking risks is a mindset that leads to an abundant life. So looking at the life of Abraham, we also believe that Abraham went out of his native land to a place that God will show him, to a place that he has never been, but he needed to trust God. So he took a risk by walking according to God's instructions. So as believers, God may also want to show himself forth in our lives, but because we are afraid of taking risks, God cannot, show himself. God cannot even take us to places we have never been because we are afraid, because our mindsets are closed. So as believers also, God wants us to embrace a mindset of taking risk and also to trust him in those risks that we are taking. So a fourth mindset that leads also to poverty when we are not aware is a spirit of comparison. When we are comparing ourselves to our friends, we are comparing ourselves to people that we don't even know on social media. And remember that if you are a child of God, there are certain seasons in your life that God allows you to pass through for a certain reason. And by comparing, there is a tendency of trying to buy things so that you can measure up to those people's levels. You want to buy a certain dress where people, they are buying these materials to design dresses for weddings. People are also buying dresses just to go to a funeral. You don't want to buy the dress that you you wore last time to a particular funeral, because people can recognize that you had that dress before. And this kind of, mindset can lead to poverty, because you have no saving, at the end of the month, because there's a dress that you have to get designed every month for a particular event. So this can lead to poverty, because your mindset will be constantly comparing yourself to your friends, to your colleagues, to your family members. And this is where you have to raise your self-concept and your self-esteem, so that when you go to the events and you have to wear the dress that you wore before, this does not disturb you. So for you to change this mindset, you have to become grounded in yourself. You have to be strong in yourself. And if you know that you don't have to be at that event because you cannot afford to be there, why should you be at that particular event if you do not afford to be there? So comparison can be a very big trap and can lead to poverty, because you are emptying out your pocket, trying to to keep up with people, with family members, trying to keep up with social media, even with people that you know nothing of. And this can be a very dangerous mindset. So mindset number 5 that can lead to poverty is a mindset of closed-mindedness. Now, a closed-minded person is one that does not think outside the box. A closed-minded person is one that refuses to think outside the box. Outside the box means that you refuse to think outside your normal way of thinking. You refuse to think outside your normal way of conditioning. So if you believe that we as hetero people eat meat because that's our culture, and the doctor is telling you that you have to stop eating meat because of your hypertension, you don't want to believe that, because this is how you have conditioned yourself to think. And it may not be your fault, because this is how you have been conditioned to think. But now you have to challenge this box and get out of the box of thinking that way, and also believe that there's also other ways of consuming meat that may not be dangerous, such as maybe consuming meat without fat, or the things that you grow up believing. You don't want to leave them. You don't want to leave them because you believe them to be true. You don't believe there's any other truth beyond that what you already know. So a closed-minded person is one who refuses to take new ideas. So a closed-minded person misses on a lot of opportunities to improve their life. They misses on a lot of advice from other people. They also misses on a lot of things that can keep them healthy, so that they can live long and productive lives. So by changing this kind of mindset, and if you are a child of God, the Bible has already provided us scriptures that help us to get out of this box of thinking. And it's so unfortunate that today even believers, Christians themselves, have missed on a lot of opportunities, especially even relationships. People don't want to marry outside their tribe. People don't want to marry outside their countries. People don't want to do anything outside of the norm that they know. And this is because they are not open-minded. So by becoming open-minded today, start by exploring things that you have never explored before. Start doing things that you've never done before. Start being more creative. If you never had a friend outside your tribe, start befriending those people. If you have a colleague at work who's from another country, start becoming a friend to that person. Learn about their cultures, about their way of life, about their food. Start, attending maybe events outside of events that you normally attend. And that is a way to try to help your mind to think outside the box. So by becoming an open-minded person, opportunities start presenting themselves to you much more better than before, because now you are conversing and you are looking at the world from another angle. So once again, these were the 5 mindsets, 5 scarcity mindsets that lead to poverty. And again, poverty is not only a lack of money in the bank, but it is also a mindset that leads to the manifestation of those things in your life. And again, we are here to cultivate a mindset of abundance, through which God will bless you through the renewal of your mind. Once again, subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, and join me in my next video.